And I'm recording when you're ready.
Okie dokie. Rolling. We ready? All right.
Ready to go.
All right. As a preliminary matter, this is Brooke Bierbergen, Chair. And permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mr. Mickey Rowland.
Here.
Miss Lucy Dillon.
Yes, here.
Miss Holly Backus.
Present.
Mr. Angus McLeod.
I'm here.
All right. All right. And I got the staff members, anticipated speakers on the agenda. Okay. Good morning. I say good afternoon. This open meeting of the Historic Structures Advisory Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. And for this meeting, the Historic Structures Advisory Board is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Meeting materials. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I, Brooke Bierbergen, the chair, notes otherwise. Meeting business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, Brooke Bierbergen, the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. For items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. I think that's it for now.
Where are we?
Yeah, hang on. Holly, your screen came up right in front of my video, so I'm trying to figure out how to move it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can stop. You want? You just gotta adopt the agenda.
All right. All right. Someone like to make a motion to adopt the agenda? Lucy Dillon makes that motion. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Angus McLeod seconds. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Jane, you are here for 30 Cliff Road.
Yes, that's correct.
Holly, can we do that first?
You can do that.
Okay.
Yep.
I think, She's here, might as well.
Yep.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm here really just to answer any questions that you might have because Val Oliver wasn't able to attend.
Okay. All right.
I'm glad she told you to participate, that you could do that.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
All right. We'll start with Mr. McLeod. Do you have any concerns about 30 Cliff Road?
What is the application for?
It's to lift a building out of the dirt on 30 Cliff Road. According to the application, it's plus or minus 8 inches. So basically they're putting in a new foundation. Sounds like it's a rubble foundation based on the application. And that if you look at the photos, you'll see that the shingles are more or less in the dirt.
This house is circa 1820s. I know the back addition is more contemporary. So of course this is contributing.
So the total raise in elevation is 8 inches?
Yes, according to the plan submitted, says.
I don't have any concerns.
Yeah. Mr. Rowland, do you have any concerns? Mickey? I think he's frozen. Lucy, do you have any concerns?
No, I don't. I think that house this age, I think lifting it up, like that's probably one cinder block course. I think that's the best thing for the health of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, chair is certainly in agreement. You know, definitely want to make sure that it is not more than 8 inches. You know, poured concrete has a habit of being ugly. But I have no concerns.
Well, that brings up a question: is how will the foundation be covered? Is it going to be poured concrete, or what's going to be visible from the street?
Well, that is a good question.
Is it going to have a veneer on it? Is there shingled, or?
Well, we can make a recommendation, Lucy.
Parging.
Yeah, I think parging is probably the simplest. I think some sort of veneer or parging or even a screening plan would be appropriate in this situation, at least for the Cliff Road face.
Yeah, the screening plan, though, I have a problem with that because if, you know, people put in
Yeah, that's right.
landscaping and
And the hydrangeas die in the winter.
I don't like, you know, yeah, or the next owner or something like that.
Right. Angus, how do you
You
feel
know,
about that?
what really would be nice if they,
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Mr. Chair, I just want to notate that it's the rear addition that's going to be lifted with the foundation underneath.
Oh, okay. It's
So
not
if
the
you
whole thing?
Yeah,
Well, no,
not,
and actually the whole thing will be lifted.
okay.
Because the whole thing is just sitting on, basically in the dirt or on piers.
Okay.
So the whole thing will be lifted, just the 8 inches. And the front will have a crawl and the back will have a basement.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you for that.
Sure, no problem.
I would do
Thank you,
two things. I would set, you know, set the elevation of the first floor, and so that's noted, and make sure that it doesn't go above 8 inches. And I would parge a poured foundation.
All right. That sounds great to me. Lucy, are you okay with that as the comment for?
I'm fine with that. If they really wanted
HTC?
to, if they wanted to do it more expensive, they could, I don't know the terminology is, but they have a setback
Oh, a
on
brick
the poured
layer,
foundation.
yeah, a brick
Ledge
ledge.
for brick. Yeah.
Yep.
Which
Yeah,
is
I think
good
that,
look.
sorry. I think you'll be able to cover that at the HDC, Jane.
Okay,
You know, they'll probably, they'll hear our concerns, which are
Mhm.
basically that at least on the street elevation, the poured concrete needs to be either parged surface or some sort of brick or stone veneer.
okay. Mhm.
and that the first floor elevation should be documented by a surveyor and not be more than 8 inches above the what is existing.
Right.
That will be our recommendation to the HDC.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We all in agreement on that? Excellent. Okay, that's it. Thank you,
Great.
Jane.
All right. Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks. So I'll just leave.
Yeah, zap yourself.
I'll zap myself.
Don't have to wait.
Great. Thank you so much for accommodating me. I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being here. It was helpful.
Take care. Yep. Bye-bye.
All righty.
Or Howard Court.
Or Howard Court. All right. Lucy, did you have any thoughts?
You know, I just said that I forgot to go up and look at that. If Holly, if you could scroll down so we could see the we're doing hardscaping, right?
Yes.
It's a landscape plan.
So you all know that this lot was subdivided last year under a 4181L. So it's that back cottage. That's its own lot now. That's been added to, and now they're doing the hardscaping.
Okay, no side.
The street ends at right here. So, here.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm oriented now.
Yeah. So it's right here at the end.
Oops.
And I think this plan would be helpful.
Who would like to go first?
I got a couple questions. Sorry, my internet bugged out and I got off, but I'm back in for the moment anyway. One of these plans shows a timber retaining wall around the property. Is that being added or is that already there? And what is that doing?
So I've actually been up to see this property, and the retaining is there. And in fact, if I remember, and this was last week before I left, but I think also that the fence along the neighbor's lot line has been installed. So I don't know if we are approving something after the fact, or if there was an approval already given for that board fence.
Let's look on the application.
Didn't they jump the gun before when they were doing construction? Start doing stuff before.
Nobody
it was
ever
approved?
does that, Lucy.
So looking at the application, Mr. Chair, it looks like that the fence is being requested. So if it's
Okay.
already constructed, that could be
Now, I'm not going to insist
Applied
that
for.
that is the case.
right.
That is my memory. But I'm definitely familiar with the area.
So if the timber wall is there, and I think it was the plan, one of the first ones with the green planting border around it that shows in the back of the property, a board fence on timber planter wall. And then trellis fence on the south.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, and then I guess I'm just want to make sure the fence isn't measured from on top of the wall, but more like rather at grade. You know, the 6-foot board fence, which is pretty tall.
Yeah.
And
Nikki, this is Angus. If you look at the very bottom page, the bottom of the bottom page, CD4, there's a elevation with a silhouette of a person, 6 feet, and it shows that it then steps up onto the wall.
no, I see.
right
Yeah.
there.
So I would say the maximum height is 6 feet from grade.
All right, that's a good thing. So are they, is this a new timber wall? Are we also approving a wall that can be visible? Part of this is seen from anywhere? Perhaps not, but just sort of wondering if that's the case.
Let's look. It's not. It's not clear.
Yeah, I suspect that, is it, Bert, did you say there's already some retaining there? So maybe this timber wall's already in place?
Yeah, so when the construction started to happen last fall, my clients are the neighbors. There was an existing stone retaining wall there, and my guess, for what it's worth, is that they probably had to retain what was existing so that the lot didn't wash into the other project. And there was just a lot of work there, and there was a stone retaining wall existing prior to that was on my client's property line. I believe that stone wall came down, so someone had to retain what was left, and I think that they had to do something. This might have been what happened. So the short answer is I don't know the facts, but I do know what events might have caused a wall to be installed.
So why are they, if there's a stone, they're applying for this big stone wall all around the back and the side of the property. And then there's another retaining wall, timber retaining wall, several feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Are they just creating like a raised lawn, or is it the natural grade?
It is the natural grade. Domenical's is right behind that.
Yeah.
And that grade is up a couple of feet, especially in that area and in that back corner. I think that it's that back, whatever upper left-hand corner. I think that's kind of the top, the 0 point. Because I know that at least with their driveway, the Domenical driveway slopes slightly down towards Main Street.
Yeah.
And I know that it was higher than my client's by a foot, and it just slowly sloped upwards.
All right, so it's sort of a natural.
Yeah, they're retaining what's an existing situation, but it's being more formalized.
This is the grading plan.
I didn't have any real problems with this one.
Yeah. All right, Mr. McLeod.
I don't really have any issues as I understand it. There's so many notes and it's graphically filled, but it's hard to understand what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I understand it, it seems fine.
Lucy, do you have any concerns or thoughts?
You're muted, Lucy.
Lucy?
The gate and the fence that goes into where the AC units are, what is the, what fencing is that? Just to make sure that the AC units are not visible from the street.
That's a number 2.
Holly, I lost my picture.
It's a
Okay.
number 2 picket fence and gate, 3 foot.
Okay, so
And that's the same on the other side.
and also I couldn't. And also the material in the driveway and around the, along this other side of the house, is that crushed shell? What is that material?
It's a shell.
Okay. Should I sign on again, Holly? I don't have any picture.
That might help. That's weird. I don't know. But yeah, that might help you reboot itself.
Can you see any of us, Lucy?
I can see you.
Because I could screen share what I have. I have a separate thing going right now for me on my own computer.
Let me see. I should be on, hopefully, if it goes right.
Here, I'll stop share and maybe reshare
Okay.
again.
I can see now. Those are
All right.
my only concerns.
Okay, no concerns, Lucy?
Other than that, no. I just wanted to make sure those AC units couldn't be seen from the street.
Okay, all right. I have no concerns. All right. We ready to move on?
Good.
All right. So 13 Warren Street.
All right, so
This is a shed.
shed.
It's rotating an existing shed and then putting a pergola up in between it and the unit, an existing building.
Yes, I don't know if you all remember this one. I think this was the end of last year, maybe it originally came in. Basically, the shed was facing ridge line parallel to the road. Now it's going to be gable ended towards the road. So it's for this particular structure. This is a condoed out lot. So there's the proposed shed.
Yeah.
The pergola addition.
I don't have any issues with this.
Sheet S1 has a good version of this.
Mhm.
And there's also a fence, some fencing proposed.
Yes, on the separate app.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Jumped ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. So this is the previous location. So they're just rotating it and then adding that pergola, which is included in that separate app.
Angus,
Oh, it's just charming.
charming. Mr. Rowland
I'm fine.
and Lucy, you said no concerns. All right. No concerns from the chair.
All right.
And this is for 13 Warren Street, and it's the fence on the same property. Type 2 is on Warren Street, and there's a run of 5 and 1 in the back.
Where's this 5-1? I don't see this.
If you go to sheet S1,
I think I see it now. Yep, 12 feet of it.
yeah, and it's perpendicular to both streets.
Yep.
Plus there's existing 5 and 1 that's also perpendicular.
Okay. Again, I don't have any problem with this one.
All right. Lucy? Hello?
Oh, she's still on mute.
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Angus?
No concerns?
No concerns. Chair has no concerns.
Sounds good.
12 Lincoln,
12 Lincoln again.
Cabana revisions.
We got 2 of these. I know you all remember 12 Lincoln Ave.
Yes.
Okay, oops, that one's the garage. This one should be the, yeah, here's the cabana. Jeez.
All right, so the door looked like it was a 4-light door, and they changed it to a board door, and they've added 2 6/1 double hungs on the end. That's how I'm rating this.
I'm not sure if it's, what's the new, the board doors or the 4-light doors?
The new is the new are the board doors,
Okay.
and the north elevation has 2 new 6/1 windows.
Mhm. Yep.
And there's a dated plan 061120 that it looks like that's the existing. Yeah, that's the existing.
Like that. Yep. I don't have a problem with this.
All right. Angus?
I would rather there be natural light in there, but
Yeah.
as far as aesthetics, I have no issue with it.
Lucy?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I'm fine. I agree with you, Angus. They'll have
I
the
do
window.
too.
All right, so this is the garage for 12 Lincoln.
And this was, oh yeah.
They're literally changing 6 light to 8 light on the garage door
I think it's an improvement.
panels.
Yes. Sorry, Angus, or whoever, Lucy, Angus?
On the proposed west elevation with the barn door on the track,
Yeah.
I'm always a little skeptical of those after the place on India Street. It's like, well, what's behind that?
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't seem to make sense to me in the design. I don't get it.
All right.
And they're not telling you what it's going to be behind that door. Is it just going to be nothing? Or, I mean, if nothing can be changed to huge picture window, I mean, that could be, a huge picture window with an exercise room inside. I just don't know.
Right.
But you all know the one on India Street I'm talking about?
But that's not what's being proposed.
Right.
Well,
But
they had a barn door there too.
Yeah.
And it's slid open all the time. And so you've got this huge window, which,
Right.
Mr. Chair, to Lucy's point, if you look on the floor plan here, Lucy, you can see that door.
yeah.
If they say it's going to be a one-car garage, nothing else in there, but it is I agree with you. It is a little odd, but not in the purview of this revision.
I'm not for that door. I think it should have regular windows.
All right, so we're looking at going from a 6-light pattern for the swinging garage doors on the north elevation and changing it to an 8-light pattern on the north elevation. Do you have any concerns about that?
No.
Okay. Angus?
I prefer what's proposed.
Yeah, and Mickey?
Same,
Okay.
better.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement over what was there. Would you please, Holly, note Lucy's concerns
Yes.
about the sliding garage door? Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right.
Going right through these guys.
Yeah, 25 Union, an accessible ramp on a residence.
Yes, so this is a historic structure. I think it's a typical Nantucket. I've been in this house. It's really nice. And I believe there is a urgency for this. My understanding is the owner has had some health concerns and needs this ramp. So there's the locus. There's some extra land here.
So it looks like they're going out to their property line and then returning around the existing shell driveway. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, so there's an existing deck on the side. I think they're enlarging it a little bit. There's some photographs in this application. Here's a better plan. They're existing parking and they're going around the parking area, fixing the little cute, it's a really cute walkway going up here. This was on the House Histories walking tour for, what's it called? Friends of Nantucket Public Schools, one Christmas stroll. So I was able to be in this one.
Is the railing natural to weather or is it painted?
I have to look on the application. So this is where the new steps are going to be.
It's pressure treated natural to weather.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the existing where the brick is, and I guess this is where the deck is going to be.
All right, who would like to start on this?
I have a comment on this one. I'm all in favor of ramps, of course, but this is pretty visible, this driveway. I was just going to make a suggestion that to hide the ramp, you know, maybe instead of seeing the profile of the ramp sloping up from right to left, that they just put like a 6-foot board fence all across the face of the ramp, and you won't see any slope. You'll just see a board fence. And granted, you'll see the side ramp along the property line, the side property line. And I don't know if it's worth trying to conceal that too, but it's a lot less visible and
Right here.
well, that's the one you'll see from right face on Union Street.
Is that where you're proposing the fence along
That's
there?
where I'm proposing to put a board fence from steps to the ramp.
And how high, how tall?
Just, you know, I'm assuming there's no dimension here, but I'm assuming it's a 3-foot rail. It looks like it's, you know, I guess I'd say right to the top of the railing.
Okay.
You know, or, you know, maybe a 5-in-1, although I'm not sure this is the kind of house you want to be a 5-in-1.
What about having horizontal panels that step down? I guess that would look pretty weird too.
Might be a little weird.
Yeah.
Maybe halfway through a break in it, so, you know, so it goes steps once.
Right.
I don't know. I get the need for a ramp. It's important to get into your house, and I got a feeling that eventually they'll probably just take it down if they don't need it, but we don't know that. But it's awfully visible.
Yeah, I
I don't
agree
know
with
if
Mickey. I think that's a good idea.
All right. Angus, do you have any thoughts?
I agree with Mickey on this. I feel like that's a beautiful stone wall, and there's all this wood construction built in front of it. Ideally, it would be great if it went straight perpendicular from the street onto the right through the wall, and then ramped up behind the stone and the privet, you know, onto whatever deck is going to be back there. But as Mickey also points out, it's most likely temporary. So that seems like a, you know, more invasive, and this is probably something that's just going to get removed. So, but I do agree. I think it should be screened with something simple, and a board fence seems like the simplest way to do that. That's horizontal all the way across up to the height of the the rail at its highest point.
You know, another alternative, I'm not sure this is going to work, but you could, if they ran the ramp right along the side of the house, up close to the front corner, and slope it up instead of where they're proposing those new wooden steps over the stone steps. You ramp up there, you'd have to switch back again toward the back of the, you know, it's not long enough to do it in one run. So you switch back toward the back. But
I
it would
like
all
that
be
even more.
yeah, behind that existing fence and hedge on the front, you know, sort of, you lose that big bush on the corner when you look at the photographs, you see the landscaping. They have a cellar access door on that corner, which they may say we need to have access to there. So that may not work, but it could be an alternative if they're willing to forego that door or do this as a temporary measure.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, it would make it less visible, like right in your face, I think, if they ran it along the building.
So, Mickey, I'm looking at the stone wall height, and it looks like it's maybe 3 feet, and the distance to the street is probably, I'm gonna guess, like 20 some odd feet.
Yeah, yeah.
What is there a pitch requirement for a residential ramp, or
No,
no? You know, is it possible to just run the ramp straight from the street parallel to the existing walkway? It would be much less visible, and it could be screened from this, you know, from the street.
Are you talking going like this way? Ooh.
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
But you'd have to switch it back. So there'd be a landing close to the street, and then you'd slope it back down to the back of the property.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you could have your return, it would be a smaller return, and it would not be as in your,
I think, you know, Luke is drawing this as if it's like a commercial, you know, meeting commercial needs of like 4 feet wide and probably 1 in 12. And you raised that question, Brooke. There may be some leeway in a residential ramp to go a little bit shallower or steeper, I guess, of a pitch and a shorter ramp. But I'm also pretty sure you don't need a 4 foot wide ramp for a residence. They have the turning point, which might make it difficult to turn if it's much narrower, depending on the wheelchair. I don't know. I mean, we can suggest options, you know, like that. Well, so Holly, the one that you've drawn there is sloping to the side. Maybe that's not so bad either, as long as they can screen it with planting.
There's existing fence, I guess, and some vegetation based on the photographs.
They're rebuilding that fence right now, and that, I believe, it's an iris bed,
Yeah,
which is not going to be screened.
not very tall.
Yeah.
So I'm not so sure that
Right there.
what we're proposing here is any better or so.
Well, it's a one-way street going away from this. So I think that what we were talking about having it run alongside the house or do a switchback alongside the house or do an L that runs back towards the house and along the house, I think all those are going to be less visible. And again, it's such a nice stone wall. It'd be nice to keep the picture of that.
I know, I agree. Well, maybe we can ask Luke to just come up, you know, provide us an option. And, you know, the ramp, I can see now that the ramp would have to be kept away from the side of the house a couple of feet, So that might give them a little bit of access to that door. Not much. Might be worth asking for an option of that style. And maybe it's not a good option, but it might be worth trying.
My understanding is the owner had a stroke. So that's all I know. Hence, they need to get this done.
Mm-hmm. You know, if they're summer people or year-round, you know?
They're year-round, as far as I understand. Gorgeous house. Lots of history.
I'm really not quite sure how the walk along the side, that brick walk there, how that is being changed.
Oh, where is that photo?
Lucy, in their
Right
plans, they're not
here.
proposing to change the walkway at all, except the back where the stone steps are going up beside the wall there. Those will get covered.
Yeah, but this pathway, yeah.
That'll still be there.
I think the plan he shows was just putting wood on top of it. Yeah, new wood or existing stone.
Just the steps.
Yep. Safety gate. Okay.
You guys, Brooks' cable cut out, and he just said that he'll be right back. He's restarting the computer.
Okay.
So let's quickly vote on this and move on to the next one.
Well, it looks to me like this plan it involves the fewest changes to what is currently exists there. So that's why I'm for it. But I do think that Mickey's comment about having the wall screening the ramp incline is a good one. And having the, it could be that possibly they want the end of the ramp on that side of the driveway so that the person can access the passenger side of the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point.
Yep. Yep.
And, you know, as long as these things are designed in such a way that they're easily removable. Remember, there was one up at the top of Main Street that was on a house for a number of years, which is now gone. So I don't have a problem with it. I would suggest Mickey's recommendation of the screening wall fence.
Yeah, and Holly, maybe we can put in some comments, and I wish I should probably know this, but I don't really, that, to make it as narrow, he's got it 4 feet wide, and he may not need to. So maybe just to dimensionally keep it as small as possible after researching the code.
I would say what 3.5 would be, but I can't remember. But that does look like it's a commercial width.
Yeah, 4 feet is commercial.
What?
The ramp
I
itself.
mean, if they have an assistant, a dog for an assistant, do they, they might need that wider space.
If they have what?
Like a canine companion.
No.
Oh, I guess
think they have
people
to walk
don't do that.
inside. I'm thinking wheelchair. So,
Yeah, wheelchair. All right, got your comments. You want to go to the next one? Or do you want to wait for Brooke?
Yeah, Brooke said, he said to tell you, Holly, that service is down and restart isn't working. So
Ooh, okay. Let me just annotate the time. Who's going to take over his chair then? Just for
Nice
one
try.
application.
Mhm.
You got it? Thank you, Angus.
Oh, I was nominating Mickey.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
No.
I took this.
Fine.
All right, Mickey, you got it. We got this one last application. You guys
Yeah,
are doing
better.
really good.
Yep.
This
Okay.
one is for 20. So the application, it says it's 25 federal. It's actually 20 federal. It's behind, or it's actually the visitor services
Mhm.
building for HVAC mini split. Everybody's favorite. Going on here on the side. Located here with a cedar enclosure.
Holly, is it a floating enclosure like they're showing?
No, it's actually going to have this base like that, but then it's not going to be, it's going to be a horizontal lattice.
But you won't see the platform like that photo, will you?
God, that's ugly.
It is. I think we can request that they don't have the platform visible.
So no platform like hanging out in.
So it should go to the ground. It's like as if it's like a fence.
Oh, okay, have it sit like a fence.
Yeah.
Well, then
Not just
they
right-
would probably be able to take the lattice and extend it down so you don't see the posts. Because I'm not too sure how that could sit on nothing without posts. But then again, I don't.
So if you imagine the lattice just going down beyond the joist and to the ground and have a bottom rail, so it looks like it's going from top rail to bottom rail, but it's actually covering the band of joists.
The other thing they can do is make this build it more like it's a fence, put in, full height corner posts and run the lattice just between the posts. I mean, without any detail as to how they're going to build this, I think it's sort of up in the air. I think we should ask them to be more specific about the details or suggest them to them.
Yeah, I agree with you. If they're showing this as an example that they like, I think we need more details. Also, there's another factor is, and when they design it, they have to have it designed in such a way that it's service access.
Yeah.
But this looks like a high school building project.
Oh, this is horrible.
This
Yeah.
is just really bad. I mean, it's shocking that they would put this in.
Yeah, Holly, I think we need to ask them for better details and suggest that they make it more fence looking like, and then get it back again. And
I
the
understand that. Sorry,
Well,
Chair.
the lattice was, the lattice that they're showing in that picture is really widely spaced. They make a different horizontal lattice that's a little tighter, which I think would look better too.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
Sorry.
if this can get either the lattice get much tighter, like, if it's 1.5 inches of lattice, that there would be 1/2 inch of space or 1 inch of space, but this looks like the space is larger than the lattice. And I think it'd be better to go the other way. I don't know how much room they have to work with and how much ventilation they need. But I mean, even like board with a 1x6 with a little space in between, 1/2 inch and in between, I mean, it's such a high traffic area. That's just, I hope it's nothing like that.
Yeah, I think the vertical boards, it would be better, maybe even like a 1x4 with a space might give them better ventilation. But you know, not this lattice. If they have to use lattice, then I would say tighter lattice, which I know they just make in sheets. Feeder and much more attractive.
Well, how about this idea? If it was more board facing the street and then possibly a tighter lattice on the walkway side, even.
That would help, but you're going to see the angle. You know, you'll see that face from the street pretty well. And then you'll see two different materials on the corner.
Yeah.
The other suggestion I had was to move it back further. To look at one of the pictures of the side of the building, there's those vertical conduits, that one's coming up. And, you know, why can't they move this thing to the other side of the window right next to the conduits? Get it further off away from the street.
Oh, bring it over here?
Over there or next to the pipes.
Good suggestion. Get the vertical going with all the other verticals.
And then they can enhance that plant maybe and get a little bit better screening around it.
Oof.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, is that the new fountain?
Yeah, I did see that.
Hey, Brooke.
Hey, Angus,
Yeah.
were you able to convey that?
Yes, Mickey is graciously taking over his chair.
Okay, thank you, Mickey. Yeah, there's something going on. Like my modem is all done too. So
Do you think it has anything to do with the offshore winds?
I'm having trouble up the street.
no, my guess is it's the heat. But
Or something else.
Thanks for checking in. Yeah, we only have this last application.
all right,
Thanks, Brooke.
Yep.
Ciao.
thank you. Thanks, Mickey.
Sure.
Off to the beach you go.
Aren't these units, don't these units sort of come out on, aren't they supported by a bracket from the building?
They can be, but they can sit on anything too. You can build your own platform.
My recommendation is don't do that.
Exactly. This is as far from what we want as possible.
So Holly, what do you have for notes on this one?
Put the lattice down so you don't see the base. Have it full height corner board post like a fence. Need more detail. Where's the service access? Better details. Tighter lattice. Angus had said with 1.5 inches of space, maybe a 1x6 with 1/2 inch space, because it's a high traffic area, less visibility. Vertical board better or tighter lattice. Move board facing to the street and tighter lattice. Screening with planting. I mean, maybe they could add additional planting there. And then about you moving the whole unit so the vertical conduit is closer to the existing. It would be nice to know if that is something that could be done or if that is where it has to be based on the interior. That I don't know.
Well, they're just running pipes vertically up into the attic space probably, which they should be able to do down in the lower part of the eaves also.
Yep.
So we're also approving that vertical cedar chase for the pipes, which
Yeah.
we don't normally love, but cedar is better than plastic.
Where's she got on here? Yeah, condenser and screening. So that would be the whole thing.
If it could move to the left of that left window over by the conduit,
Mhm.
maybe they could run the lines in a similar looking conduit, you know, without boxing it out. So it was just sort of blend in with all that other stuff.
How about if they box in all those conduits at the same time?
Yeah.
Lovely. All boxed, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. 25. Yeah, not the greatest, but. I think that's it.
I do have one question. Is there any update on those horrible AC units at the JC?
Yes. So there was a revision that came back. Well, not really a revision, but it was as a view, and they wanted to. They took your suggestion of having it so it would blend in with the facade of the building. The one that's along Center Street is actually going to look like the fire escape that's existing. And then the back is actually going to be painted a red color. There was a view of actually part of it painted for the commission to look at. And then the side that is along the I guess the newer edition, where the shingles are, is going to be like a gray color. So there's actually going to be two different colors. So it's not white starked out. So.
Okay, but did they say anything about the air conditioning units, all that junk that's on the corner of
That was not addressed because it wasn't addressed
Center
with
Street?
that was not addressed with that COA application. But that they all
Yeah.
noted it. They all noted it. So I haven't heard anything further.
My concern is that we're going to have to live looking at this for years, and they will never come in for an application for it. And it's NIR, and these people know better. There is no excuse to go ahead and do this kind of stuff. And I mean, is there some way that you can halt any additional work done or approvals for the JC until that's cleaned up?
I don't believe you can do that. I don't think you can commandeer approval to bring something up into compliance. But I will have to check with Kathy. Kathy's away on vacation, much needed vacation this week. I'll check to see what's gone on, and then also their rep, Linda Williams, to see if she had mentioned, you know, that she knew that was an issue and she was brought it to their attention already. So hopefully that's you know,
my concern is that people start doing this kind of stuff, and then, you know, they come in with applications for other things, and they say, oh, well, we'll take care of that later down the road. And then we start getting a lot of this really bad behavior.
Understood.
You know, if they built something that they didn't have a certificate of appropriateness for, then they could be fined for it. So, you know, that's an avenue of remedy the HDC could take. I haven't seen it. So I haven't been there. But
It's horrible.
It's not, look, yeah.
It's the biggest eyesore downtown by a long shot.
It is.
And other businesses have dealt with similar challenges. Backyard Barbecue had a ventilation issue, and also the Athenaeum had to do a lot for their AC units. So things can be done, but it's just, you know, not just right in front of our face.
Yep.
Especially with all that flat roof area in the back of the place. Why would they put it on the most like obvious corner?
I agree.
Can I make a
Well,
motion
it's like
to approve the comments?
Yeah. Seconded?
Thank you.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to do anything else, Ellie?
Roll call, please.
Okay, what are we roll calling for?
The motion you just made, you got to basically say, Mickey Rowland, aye. Angus, aye. Lucy, aye.
Oh. Angus?
Aye.
Lucy?
Aye.
And I'm in favor.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Holly.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
Holly.
Mickey. Thanks, Lacey.
See you guys.